this next. It's a little bit shorter even. Shorter video. Here we go.
Super Metroid.
This game is a masterpiece, by the way.
Came out back in 1994. It puts the player through an absolute adventure. You get dropped onto the planet Zebus and make your way underground, exploring a vast world of enemies, power-ups.
What's up, Stretchy? What's up, chat? Sorry, I'm still reacting pretty much.
Which test both the player's skill and guts to push onward.
You have any? I have seen so many Super Metroid speedruns in my life. This game is very fun to watch, especially in a race.
Many gamers agree that this game is one of Nintendo's masterpieces.
Yeah, that's what I said just 2 minutes ago, less than a minute ago.
Commonly played today. As a way of honoring its greatness, for more than a decade, the group of speedrunners have been battling each other to beat it as fast as they can. It's been raced at Games Done Quick events.
Yeah, I watched this live.
Streaming the game live on Twitch to either get a lower personal best or even lower the world record. In fact, Speedrun.com says that there's only 3 games in history that have been run more than Super Metroid.
Huh? Okay.
The world record for this game
Mario Sunshine's up there? That's crazy.
There will be new strategies or better execution. So, today, we're going to look at how the record for Super Metroid has gotten lower over time. One quick thing to note about this game. There are 2 ways of timing it. The in-game timer that you are presented with at the end of the game, and real time, which is a more traditional approach of timing the run from start to finish with a timer. Speedrunners originally used in-game time, since it was accurate and didn't require the hassle of setting a timer.
Right. It was perfect.
I'll explain that later.
It was absolutely necessary.
Going all the way back to 2004. Super Metroid speedrunner Smokey was able to get the first Super Metroid run with footage that still exists today.
2004.
38 minutes, or 56 minutes and 22 seconds of real time. Here's how he did it.
Look at the quality of this video, man. 2004. It's like a VHS.
Ridley, and Dragon. You can defeat these bosses in whichever order you want, as long as you defeat them all at some point. Smokey started off his run by heading into Brinstar and fighting Kraid. He was able to do a quick kill on Kraid by shooting him with his super missile when Kraid's mouth was like this, walking it into position, and finishing off the fight quickly. Normally, Kraid's fight could last over a minute, you'd have to rise
yes, sir, AT.
from the ground. With this quick kill, it was over in only
We're a force to be reckoned with.
Smokey headed over to the wrecked ship and fought Fantoon. You can only hit Fantoon in his eye, and you can only hit his eye when it is exposed. Fantoon also likes to move around.
Fantoon's a crazy fight.
Depending on what patterns he gives, this fight can either take a very long time, or be over fairly quickly. This fight ended up taking Smokey around 90 seconds. Then, Smokey went into Meridia to fight Dragon. Dragon is one of the most difficult sections of the game. She can either swoop down or do a mucus cycle. The mucus cycle is where she releases
a nightmare to all.
Pretty much just waste time, and the swoop is where she, well, swoops down. While Smokey didn't have a perfectly clean fight, it was certainly good enough given the time. Finally, the last boss that Smokey fought was Ridley, in Lower Norfair.
Oh, see you later, JBL. Sorry I didn't see the message.
Grab Samus, charge at her, go up and down, and of course, swoop across the screen. With a bit of luck and a lot of skillful execution.
Yo, Ridley, this is where Ridley came from.
About 60 seconds. The pattern of going through the bosses in the order Smokey did, Kraid, then Fantoon, then Dragon.
I need to start playing Samus in Smash Bros.
Go through the game as fast as possible for
Samus is actually
known as the KP
legendary.
Route, taking the first letter from the name of each of the 4 bosses in the order that they were fought. After going through these 4 bosses, Smokey headed back up to the ship to get his energy back, and then headed over to fight Mother Brain. This fight has 3 forms. The first form is easy enough. You just break open the glass tank with missiles. Then, the second form appears, and the player first sees how big Mother Brain truly is.
Oh man.
The deal with this section is to just keep dealing charge shots.
What's up, Berber? Yeah, next time I play Pokemon, for sure.
Which can kill you in 1 hit. Smokey did a beautiful job of this in his run. After this phase is a cutscene, and then the final form of Mother Brain, where you must deal as much damage to her as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Smokey's method of doing this was to just stand in the lower right corner of the screen.
Let's go, Smokey.
And constantly land face shots. It worked well enough, and then all Smokey had to do was escape the exploding planet and get onto the ship. Since he was trying to optimize game time instead of real time, he called his run a 38-minute run. Smokey would eventually lower his time down to
That's
36
fair.
minutes, but no footage of his later runs exists today. A couple of years later, in 2006, a runner named Garubo was able to beat Smokey's 36-minute run
Garubo.
with a 34-minute run, and was planning to shock the speedrunning community with it. But right as he was about
34,
to submit it to the
wow.
website Speed Demos Archive, where most speedrunners showed off
I
their
used to
runs,
go on that
he
site
had a major
all the time.
surprise. A Japanese runner had already beaten him by
I think I
10
uploaded
minutes,
something
and
from
had gotten
Halo there.
32. This runner's name? Hodarubi. For anybody who hasn't heard of Hodarubi, he was one of the most legendary speedrunners of all time. He held the world record in Mario games, Mega Man games, several
Mega
other
Man.
franchises,
Shout out to
and
Mega
many
Man.
of his records were unbeatable for years. There's not really much that I can say that would be enough to pay tribute to how amazing he really was. The way he got to 32 was mainly just by executing everything like a god. When the run came out, nearly everybody thought that it was fake. The time was just too low for it to be real.
32, holy crap.
Speed Demos Archive verification team when the run was submitted. Hodarubi's level of play is so far beyond anything yet seen on the site that his run was stuck in verification for weeks as verifiers tried to
Wow.
decide whether or not the video was legitimate. However, no evidence of foul play was ever found. And so today, on behalf of Metroid 2002 / Speed Demos Archive,
Minutes,
I am proud to
Berber.
present Super Metroid in 32, single segment. People use things like the fact that Hodarubi did
So this guy beat this game in 32 minutes.
to try and prove that the run was fake. Normally, arm pumping like that down a slope would interrupt Samus's running speed. But if these people had actually tested it for themselves, they would have realized that this only applies on certain slopes. The one
Okay.
before the speed booster was fine to arm pump on. Probably the best part of this run was at the end.
Imagine it was seconds. That would be like
Walk, but also knew that he
a
wasn't
light
going
speed
fast
run.
enough
They
to
would
get
have to reclassify it.
So, just for the hell of it, he decided to save the animals. For anyone
Really?
who's familiar with what this is,
Okay.
during the final
Yeah,
sequence,
listen to this.
you can take this path into another room and shoot this door behind a room filled with animals to save them.
Yup.
All this changes is at the end, you see a tiny pixel float off into the distance.
Yup. That's
Which
it.
happens to be the animals that escaped. All in all, this wastes about 25 seconds, and is supposed to just be a meme done at Games Done Quick events sometimes. But no, Hodarubi decided that he would create a run so amazing, that everyone thought that it was fake, and save the animals just to annoy everyone a little bit. After this
That's
run
genius.
came out, a couple
This
of
guy's
years
incredible
later,
at
Azor
at Super
and
Metroid.
decided they wanted to try and beat Hodarubi's run by getting a 31-minute segmented run. As opposed to Hodarubi's single segment run, which is a traditional run completed from start to finish without stopping, the segmented run is a run completed in multiple segments. Runners can grind one segment over.
Oh
and
yeah,
over,
because we could
and
only
then they
upload
like
videos at 10-minute increments at a time back in like
once they get a great run for each
2006
segment, they can piece them together
and 2007.
as a segmented run. People figured that this was probably be the only way to beat Hodarubi's 32. But then, Hodarubi just decided to get a 31 single segment run.
Huh?
And once again, people were completely in awe of his skill.
That's crazy. 31
One interesting
minutes.
thing that Hodarubi did during this run was decide to
Did he
focus
save the
on
animals?
real-time strategies rather than game time strategies. One such strat was the murder.
Huh?
This normally creates a vertical beam during Mother Brain 3 that continuously deals damage.
Yeah.
It is much slower for real time, about a minute slower. So he decided to not do it for this run. Amazingly, even though he decided to use real-time strategies, Hodarubi was still able to beat his old run in game time.
Wow.
Since he was going for real time, this run gradually stopped being referred to as a 31 and began to be called its real-time equivalent, a 49.25.
Okay.
For a few years, Hodarubi was completely untouchable. People began to race Super Metroid instead of going for the world record attempts, because they knew that nobody could possibly beat Hodarubi. As a result
That's
of
weird.
those real-time races, the category universe
Why is the game timer so off from real time?
Pretty much completely thrown out. Eventually, in early 2012, runners finally were able to get sort of close to Hodarubi's run. 7 people, Garrison, MSDS, Cassius, DBX, Fusiana, Emodoran, and Hypo, were all trying to get their own sub 50-minute run. Eventually, 2 of these runners rose above the rest and got a sub 50, Fusiana and Emodoran.
What'd they do?
To find footage of these runs,
Dang
but
it.
regardless, these 2 runners
It's okay
were
summoning
close to the
Salt.
unthinkable, taking down Hodarubi's nearly perfect world record. Unfortunately though, neither of them were able to pull it off. They got close, but Hodarubi's run was just too good. It seemed like Hodarubi's record would stand for years more. But after Fusiana and Emodoran faded away from the Super Metroid community, another one of those 7 runners was able to pull off a sub 50. Garrison. Garrison streamed his
Garrison from Games Done Quick. Classic Garrison.
Slowly closed in on Hodorubi's record. After a steady series of improvements, Garrison was just a few seconds away from Hodorubi. Finally, on June 6, 2012, it seemed like he was going to beat it. It was going to be close, and it was all coming down to the final escape.
Are you
What?
kidding me, dude?
What? He lost like, I don't know, half a second there. What?
His timer showed that he had beaten it by 1 second, but in reality, Garrison tried to go down into the ship too early.
No.
He stopped the timer then too. He actually went down about a second later.
Oh no, man.
With Hodorubi. But a week later,
That sucks. He screwed it up again. Wait, did he do it? It looks like he screwed it up. It's hard to say.
Bad escape.
after having the record for 6 years,
Watch the Mario Odyssey sub hour history.
It wasn't by much, and it was slower in the in-game timer, but Garrison
I might do more React videos soon, and that I could do. I just want to check out Metroid because, you know, it's super relevant right now.
Better movement, better RNG, slightly
But for those of you who are watching in the future,
record time down lower.
it is less relevant unless
Strategy was the full halfie.
Metroid 4 came out recently.
For months, Garrison and MSDS spent countless hours trying to figure out these new strategies, leading to Garrison calling MSDS the unsung hero of Super Metroid. Eventually, Garrison was able to push his time down all the way to
What's up, King?
4750. But while Garrison was doing this, another Super Metroid player was quickly improving in the background. Caught Power.
Caught Power?
PAL runner, or a runner of the European version of the game, Caught Power became a
PAL, okay. PAL version slower.
It was showcased at ESA 2012. He set out to improve his time. In mid-2012, his PB was 54 minutes. Just a few months later, he improved so much that he was able to take the record from Garrison out of nowhere, on November 3rd, 2012.
What? Seriously?
For a few months after that, Garrison and Caught Power took turns lowering the record. Mostly, they just kept out-executing the other, but Caught Power also found a semi-consistent way to do an extremely difficult trick, the Big Metroid Skip.
The Big Metroid skip. The Big Metroid.
The game, and saved a few seconds. While Garrison and Caught Power continued to trade the record back and forth, a new runner, Zost, proved his skill and took it from them.
Is that Randy Savage? Is this guy sitting in the Shadow Realm?
Oh yeah.
What the heck?
Damn, my heart is beating so hard.
It was pretty clear to most that Zost was a pretty big force to be reckoned with, and we'll get to Zost again later.
Okay.
Anyway, these three kept trading the record back and forth, and once the time came down to 45:36 by Caught Power, it seemed as though the run was getting pretty close to the boundaries of what was humanly possible. New strategies were coming out all the time, but nobody could have expected what was coming next. On July 26th, 2013, Super Metroid fans woke up to find that the record had changed once again. Only this time, it wasn't Zost, Garrison, or Caught Power. It was by a speedrunner who didn't even stream on Twitch, Behemoth. This run was done thanks to a number of new strategies that he had figured out with the help of other runners in secret in a private thread. Some of these strategies included climbing up the red tower super quickly, similar to how the tool-assisted run did it, and defeating the plasma pirates with a super bomb. This method of grinding strategies...
They should add that thing in Smash Bros.
Behemoth thing. So one could say that Zost got Behemoth with this run. Zost got back to grinding, and using these strategies, he's able to get the record back from Behemoth a couple of weeks later.
What's up, Unicorn?
The chat was pretty excited, including this runner named Oats and Goats. Remember
Oats
that?
and Goats.
At this point, the
Actually, I
new
do
strat is
remember
locked
Oats and Goats. He was
all
in
the way down to
the
44.
Games Done
Sosa was
Quick
the first one to get
streams.
it, although runners Ivan and Krauser also were trying to get the record. These three runners and Garrison ended up racing the game at AGDQ 2014.
Yeah, I remember
What
this.
has gone down as one of the greatest speedrunning races of all time.
Well, and I.
This is back when AGDQ was good.
After that AGDQ, it was all Zost. He wanted to push the game as far as he could. The in-game timer was at a 29 still for all of his runs, and you wondered if maybe he could get it down to a 28. He pushed it more and more, and to his surprise, in August of 2014, he got the 28.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay.
Holy shit!
The time of that run in real time was a 44:08. It seemed like that might be a fitting ending to the game speedrun. The game had started by being timed by in-game time, and while it had switched to real time, Sost had pushed the game time down as far as it seemed it could go in the process.
28
Sost
minutes.
got behemouthed again. For the past 10 years, or maybe even longer, runners have been following the same route that Smokey did at the beginning of the video. Crave first, then Fantoon, then Dragon. and
Well, you
finally
have to, right? I mean,
in early
that's about as
2014,
optimized as it can get.
his search, maybe there was a faster route through the game. He looked with Reeve, Forensic, and even Smokey, who was one of the first runners to use the KPDR route. And after a few months of searching, and a few more months of practicing and working out quirks, Behemoth had himself a new route to use.
Really?
Fantoon first, then Ridley, then Kraid.
These guys are insane.
This route ended up having a huge potential to save time. If executed correctly, and given great RNG, it could save up to 100 seconds of real time. Although it would lose 2 minutes of game time, but nobody really cared about game time.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I just still don't understand how that works.
Fantastic. The only problem is that it's harder. A lot harder. And the luck required with the boss's patterns to get all 100 seconds is pretty unlikely. Still, that didn't stop Behemoth from behemothing Zost
100
once again,
seconds.
taking his record by 20 seconds with this new route just 5 days after Zost got to 44:08. The reaction to this new route being discovered was overwhelmingly positive from almost the entire Super Metroid community. The potential to lower the record was great, so Zost and Behemoth got to work, slowly executing the route better and better, and getting better RNG.
In there.
What's the final time, man? What is it?
Hell yeah. Not bad, not bad. Hell yeah.
What is it? What's the time? I need to know the final time. Here it is.
Still got it. Oh, God, what a nail biter, man. Fuck.
By mid-2015, it was pretty clear that Zost was just a complete god at Super Metroid. He pushed it more and more, simply by executing the route better, getting better RNG, and by being Zost. The month of October 2015 was
Just by being Zost.
solid for Super Metroid. Zost got a new record of 42:32 on October 10th. 8 days later, he took 2 seconds off of it. The next day, he took another 2 seconds off. 3 days later, another 3 seconds came off. And finally, 4 days later,
Hey, Miss Arcadia.
26th, he took 13 more seconds off.
What we got? Holy!
Okay, is this the final time?
13. Whoa!
I need to see it.
That's a 28, my friend.
He improved the
28?
Super Metroid record
That's
5
impressive.
times in 1 month, and took half a minute off the record in process. Zost seemed to be the undisputed champion of Super Metroid speedrunning. But do you guys remember that guy Oats and Goats I was talking about?
Yeah, I remember him. Headphone warning. Oh no. no, OBS disconnecting. Are we good?
Dude, yes! Yes! We fucking got it!
That was weird.
After having steadily improved his own personal best
Okay,
for
cool.
months, Oats and Goats was able to take the world record from the legendary Zost by a few seconds. The time was down to a low 42, so naturally, as all speedrunners would do, everyone was anticipating the 41-minute time. Zost and Oats both wanted it, so they both started grinding it. Zost wasn't streaming attempts quite as often, but Oats was streaming 41 attempts nearly every day. Ultimately though, Zost was the first one to find success. He started by tying Oats' 42:10, then lowered the record by 5 seconds a few months later. Finally, in September 2016, he did it. He got a 41:58 offline and then replayed it on his stream. But Oats wasn't about to
Okay.
give up. He knew that he had the skill to get the record back, so he kept pushing forward, even though it was incredibly frustrating sometimes. And then, on October 18th, 2016, everything was coming together. He cleared boss after boss, difficult section after difficult section, and then it was on to the escape.
I thought his game would crash a millisecond before it ends. That would be awful, dude. Thankfully, these games didn't crash very often.
Not looking.
Don't look, bro. Just go into the...
Baby! That's it! Yeah! Woohoo! Oh yeah!
Let's go. This video has to be almost over.
That's it!
And as of February 2017, that's where the world record stands. Super Metroid has been on the forefront of the speedrunning
Wonder if anybody's
ever
beaten
since
that
speedruns
record since this video was
It's one of the most
published.
coveted records, and every time the record has changed hands, it's brought in a wave of attention to the game and to the runners. This game requires so much, an insane amount of skill, a ton of RNG, and a seemingly endingless amount of patience and persistence. While the record keeps getting so optimized, who knows what new strategies will be discovered, or if Behemoth will do his thing again and completely revolutionize the game. Although, he does stream now, so it's unlikely that he would find it in secret. This game has a long and treasured past, and it's sure to have a thrilling future as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.
Alright, again, Summoning Salt. Great video. Fantastic editing. Great music choices. Everybody should go sub to Summoning Salt. Okay, guys, give me a second. I'm gonna chop this one up. And we are going to... I don't know, maybe watch Metroid Prime. Maybe... I have an idea. We could watch some Did You Know Gaming. Alright, give me a moment, guys. I'm gonna go to a commercial.
Think you might have worms? If your computer is slowing down or crashing or just acting weird,